There's also been some reports from the Social Media Today article that I'm referencing for this story, where they was claiming, and they were talking about some data that came out about community notes failing on X specifically. So the process to add a community note on X at the moment is as follows. The community note contributor group is alerted to review the note that has been added by the community or by the person who wants to add it. Then an approved note contributor can then review the post, checking for accuracy and relevant information to submit a proposal to where it's valid. The proposal note is then reviewed by another contributor before finally being shown on the post or not, depending on the process. The Centre for the Conduction of Digital Hate found that, quote, 209 out of 283 misleading posts in the sample group related to the US election had accurate community notes that are not showing to all X users. The equivalent to 74% was rated as, quote, accurate, where they have outlined independent fact checkers have been able to source and why the attached post was potentially misleading. In the Social Media Today article that claimed that, quote, the majority related to the 2020 election being stolen, which most Republican voters maintain to be true. President-elect now, Donald Trump, also continues to stand by this claim. There's no surprise that the Republican community notes and disagree on whether this is being queried or not. The main point that seems to be Musk's claim on the app, his view is that some things reported as truth by the media are not correct, and the people should be the ones to decide who and what is accurate. Further adding to CCDH's findings, and the Wall Street Journal's own analysis also found that only 79,000 of more than 900,000 community notes written in 2024 had been shown publicly. Less than 9% was success rated of the notes being displayed and declined over time. So does this show, and does this bring the question of what should we believe and who should we trust again? My personal view, as someone who has worked in the media industry for nearly 10 plus years now, is there, of course, is going to be a level of maybe misreporting by mistake, or a level of good PR in regards to my view. Because, of course, why would a business or a local organisation or a local group or a local location want bad press? Surely that isn't going to help them sell more. The issue where this comes down, in my opinion, is whether we're talking about factual statements or not, right? I think the key here is not about, do you like what I'm saying? It's, is it factually correct or not, right? And who is holding the, quote, arbiter of truth, right? If you ask Musk, it should be the people viewing it. If you ask others, they would say the mainstream media or independent journalists or etc. Right? And I think this is the conversation. This is why there should be a level of independent reporting taking place, because regardless of how powerful and how well-funded or not well-funded these mainstream media sources are, they're still human. So the more people who can cover this topic and that can be then validated independently by fact checkers, of course, you can then be in a position where the people can go out of their way to fact check and to double check and be, I would always say, be healthily skeptical of everything you hear and read, because there is things called unconscious bias. People are going to make mistakes, either wrongly or rightly, and or they do it deliberately. So keep that in mind whenever you consume media, right? There is ways, there is means to cut things around. As an editor, I can show you, and I can tell you how we could manipulate a pause, right? We'll be talking about this in the next story, where it turned out that a lot of the misinformation, disinformation that was posted by Dogpact was because, and he did some sly editing, and arguably, if you follow that side, right, he's actually lying, and he's, actually providing false, things that aren't factually correct, or some context was missing, or he didn't tell the full story. So, and what are then his motives around that? So I think it's really important that that's why I wanted to cover the community note bit as well, because there should be a level of community involvement. There should be a level of independent fact checking taking place. But is community notes the solution for X? Who knows? I think people should be openly skeptical. I think people should be aware of the fact that humans are going to get it wrong sometimes, and that's okay. And I think it's important that we look to work as a community to be better as a whole, to do better as a whole.